"Stop! My child! Don't jump!" were my words to a confused soul. This soul belonged to a woman named Sarah. As the Lord God Almighty, the Alpha and the Omega, the one who formed Sarah in her mother's womb and ordained her days before one of them came to be, I watched her stand at the edge of the Golden Gate Bridge. Her hands trembled upon the cold metal railing, and the fog encircled her like a shroud, reflecting the tempest within her soul. She was ready to let go, to cast herself into the abyss of despair. But I, the God of all flesh, knew her story was not yet complete, for I had plans for her, plans to give her a future and a hope. Jeremiah 29:11. Just yesterday, she was Sarah Thompson, a woman of 32 years, dwelling in the city of San Francisco. She had prospered in her labors, possessing a high station, a dwelling of beauty, and a betrothed named Mark. Yet in the span of a single day, the foundations of her life were shaken. Her employment was taken from her. Her betrothed revealed his unfaithfulness, and the threat of eviction loomed over her. The weight of her trials pressed upon her like a millstone, and she cried out in her heart, my God, why have you forsaken me?" Psalm 22:1. But I had not forsaken her. I was there, even in the valley of the shadow of death. Psalm 23:4. As she closed her eyes and leaned forward, I stretched out my hand. A warm breeze, gentle as my spirit, swept across her face, and the fog parted like the Red Sea before my servant Moses. Before her eyes, I unveiled a sunset of surpassing glory, a sky ablaze with gold, pink, and purple, as though the heavens themselves declared my majesty. Psalm 19:1. And then I spoke to her, not in the wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in a still small voice. 1 Kings 19:12. "Sarah," I said, "this is not your end. It is your beginning. For I know the thoughts I think toward you, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you a future and a hope." Tears streamed down her face as my words pierced her heart. I reminded her that she was fearfully and wonderfully made, Psalm 139:14, that I had numbered the hairs on her head, Luke 12:7, and that even in her darkest hour I was with her. I called her to rise, to take courage, for I would strengthen her and help her. I would uphold her with my righteous right hand, Isaiah 41:10. As the sun dipped below the horizon, I saw her spirit revive. She stepped back from the railing, her heart filled with a hope that comes only from me. And then, as a sign of my faithfulness, her phone buzzed with an email, a job offer, better than the one she had lost. She laughed through her tears, for I had turned her mourning into dancing, Psalm 30:11. As she walked off the bridge, I rejoiced. Sarah Thompson, my beloved daughter, was ready to walk in the newness of life I had prepared for her, Romans 6:4. She would come to know that I am the Lord her God, who goes before her and fights for her, Deuteronomy 31:8. And though she had walked through the fire, she would not be burned. Though she had passed through the waters, they would not overwhelm her, Isaiah 43:2. For I am the God of second chances, the one who makes all things new, Revelation 21:5. And her story, written in my book, was only just beginning.